Join me as I make dinner. I will wait until you're here, and I will prep until you are here. Hi guys. Come and join me in my kitchen. Hop on in, tag your friends, girlfriends, mama bear friends, anyone you know looking for a drama-free recipe. I'm gonna make it right now, get it ready to go. It is 3:30 Eastern. We have track and field tonight. Don't get home until about 7 o'clock. This is gonna be ready when we come home. If you are new to my recipes, they are all super easy peasy. I almost always use slow cookers, better known as a crock pot. I'm a big fan of using the word crock pot. Not everyone likes it. Sounds a little trashy, but hey, come say hi. Listen to that laugh. Hey guys, who's on? Hey Meg. You're gonna see Megan in what, 2 hours?
2 hours.
Thank you, Kelly.
Hey, Instagram.
Hey. Over to you.
I use the word crock pot a lot too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big
Is that how you want it?
Yeah.
All right.
Just say hi. Tonight we're having coconut, peanut butter, ginger chicken. Sound good?
Woo!
And coconut sweet potatoes. Yummy, yummy. These kind of pair together. I'm gonna do a little bit of asparagus too. I'm gonna be on for about 40 minutes with you. So if you wanna hang out with me, I'd love to have you stay on. Kelly in the comments, thank you. She mentioned my new kitchen blueprint. It just launched last week. Let me know if you have it. In it, I teach you a method for simple meal planning and prep. There's templates. You guys know I love giving you templates. And I've also linked you up to all of my favorite no drama recipes. I'm gonna keep saying no drama because, you know, over the years, so I'm 40. I became a mom when I was 29. And I remember when I first was on mat leave, right? First time I had been home after working in corporate world for over a decade. And I was so stoked to be home with this little Bubba. And I got so adventurous when it came to creating a home, right? And I bought all the cookbooks, and over the years I bought tons of cookbooks. And then you know what? They look really good. They look really good, they're really pretty, but I barely use them because they're too involved. Every time I go to make a recipe, it's like, and I'm like, no one has time for that. Not me anyway. I'm like, I gotta think there's more people out there like me. And so I use a slow cooker all the time, you guys. Like and listen, I think that it's assumed that if you're making something in the slow cooker that it's going, or the crock pot, that it's going to taste mushy or that it's all going to taste the same. And you can get so creative. Like the reason I love the crock pot is because for the same reason I love the dishwasher that's running right now. It's the same reason I love when the washing machine's going, because if I can maximize all the things happening, that gives me a really good sleep at night. If you are a maximizer like me, you've got to have a crock pot. You've got to have at least 2 crock pots. And I'm going to show you 2 different recipes. So listen, go grab a tea, go grab a little notebook. I'm gonna show you the recipes. While you're doing that, I need to just go grab my other small slow cooker. Say hello if you're here. Let me know if you're loving the kitchen blueprint. I wanna see your comments. I will save this video to IGTV. Yes, BB in the keys. The Beauty Life Lab is running right now. That's correct. Lots going on. Maximizer. I'll be right back. I want to use this second slow cooker tonight, but I have chaga tea in this. So I'm going to transfer this over to a thermos so that I can use this for the potatoes. So tonight we're gonna have chaga tea infused slow cookers. Hey guys, so great to have you in. Awesome. I love seeing how many of you have the blueprint. That makes my heart so happy. It was one of my favorite creations to date. I love it. Okay, so listen. First of all, you guys know that I use a meal planning database called Plan to Eat. I've been using it for over a decade. And I share this in the blueprint. I've shared it here anytime I've shared a recipe over the years. But what I love about it is I can save all of my favorite recipes to this virtual database. And then every week I plan my meals. I drag the recipes into the calendar. It creates a grocery shopping list for me based on the ingredients in those recipes. It's just super efficient. And I love that, let's say, you know, for tonight, I knew I wanted to do chicken. I just go into Plan to Eat and I search the word chicken and it brings up all of the recipes that I've shared or that I've saved that are chicken. I can even define it more by typing in crock pot and it'll bring all of my recipes up. So what I do and what I teach you in the blueprint is to find a couple of recipes for each night of the week that support a certain theme. So let's say chicken night. You'd have 2 to 4 recipes that are your top faves that you rotate through. So what I teach you to do is you find those recipes and then you print them and you keep them in a kitchen binder. So every Sunday I plan my meals for the week on Plan to Eat, and then I basically grab those hard copy recipes and I put them onto a little board in our kitchen so that I have the week of recipes there ready to go. So here is tonight's. It's actually super simple. This is just a quick one I made years ago. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you want to take a screenshot. I will share the recipe links with you in this recording if that's helpful. So this is a super simple recipe. I make this every 2 weeks. And here's what's in it. You basically are putting the chicken in your slow cooker and you're coating it with a marinade of half a cup of coconut milk, full fat coconut milk. This kind of jazz, okay? Not cheap. So this organic full fat coconut milk is between $3.50 to $5 per can. We use every last drop of it. So what I tend to do is a couple mornings a week, you can come in, a couple mornings a week, I will open up a can of this coconut milk. I will use half of it in brain fuel hot chocolates for the girls. I'll keep the other half in a mason jar for a recipe like this, okay? So this is about half a cup in here. Or I'll use this in jasmine rice in the slow cooker. That's another one I use coconut milk for. So I'm putting this in the blender right now along with a 1/4 cup of peanut butter, organic if you can, a 1/4 cup of tamari or soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, and then about 3 drops of doTERRA ginger. If you don't have doTERRA ginger oil, you can use a teaspoon of ground ginger or fresh, if you want to go fresh. So I have everything in here except the coconut milk. And what I'm going to do is just go around the corner and blend this up. Okay, looks like that right now. So I'm basically blending this up. And then I'm putting the chicken breasts in the slow cooker with a little salt and pepper and garlic powder on top, and then pouring this over top and putting it on high for 4 hours so that by the time we get home from track and field, or they get home, I'm not going tonight, but by the time this is done, or by the time they get home, this will be done. Okay, so I'm gonna just go whip this up, talk amongst yourselves, and then I'll show you the sweet potatoes. Okay, so that I've blended up, I'm gonna pour over top in just a moment. The type of slow cooker that I use is a brand called West Bend. They come in a couple of different sizes, but I mean, you can really use any one. A friend of mine wrote me the other day and she's like, oh my gosh, it's so cute whenever you make recipes how you only use 4 chicken breasts, because she has like 7 sons. Made this before and felt like the chicken got dry. Any ideas? Yes, cook on low. All slow cookers are a little bit different. So, I mean, it's ideal if you can be home. Let's say you work from home, right? This is using your slow cooker while you work from home is so ideal because you can just check on it every once in a while, just add a little more liquid. Cooking on low for longer is better. Sometimes if you have a really high powered slow cooker, then yeah, it's gonna go dry. All right, so I will just flip you a little bit here. There we go. Cover them in salt and pepper. And this marinade, you guys, that I just whipped up, the coconut oil with the coconut milk with the ginger oil and the peanut butter and the tamari, it is perfect. It's just super comforting, yummy, delicious. Okay, so I'm gonna pour that in. You just wanna make sure they're evenly coated. All right, so we'll get that guy going. And you'll have leftover marinade in here after they've cooked. So if you were serving a side, I'm sure you would be, like jasmine rice or quinoa noodles, or I'm doing sweet potatoes. You guys know I shared that in the beginning. I'll show you that recipe next. But there will be a little bit of this left over that you could drizzle over whatever carbolicious side dish you're doing. All right, let me just scroll up and see your comments. Someone said we try not to use cans. Have you ever tried using boxed coconut milk? It's not super available where we are. When we're at our place in Florida, yes, but I have not found a brand that I can consistently buy here. I also would prefer using boxed as opposed to cans. So this brand, Native Forest, is organic. Now the issue with cans, of course, is the BPA. So this one has a BPA non-intent lining, whatever that means. I'm assuming that's a good thing. It just doesn't straight up use the language of BPA free. BPA non-intent. What is your intent here, BPA? So anyway, that's the brand that I invest in because it is many times about $5 a can, but it's like gold in this house. You know, anything you're using coconut milk in, if you use the full fat, real deal, organic, it's next level. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this up to high. I'm gonna kind of set this over to the side, and I'm gonna plug in this other mini crock for, you know what? Can you do me a favor? Can you plug my charger without knocking my camera over? Is there a plug on that side? There isn't, is there?
Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna watch this. Actually, not a good idea. Let me, okay. I just realized I need 3 outlets and I only have 2 right beside me. So I'm gonna prepare it and then I'll plug it in at the back here. So next recipe, and again, I'll link you up with the recipe. Coconut sweet potatoes in the crock pot. So 6 sweet potatoes. So I just soaked them and scrubbed them clean this morning when I was in the kitchen doing breakfast. That's a tip for you. Whenever you're in the kitchen doing one thing, you know, where you're prepping anything, think about what you can do for the rest of the day. So I typically in the morning while the kids are sitting here and having breakfast, I'll think of dinner any produce or prep that I can do to get that out of the way, I will do then. So this recipe is 6 sweet potatoes cut into chunks. You can leave the skin on, which I recommend for fiber. Best in that case that you're using organic with any produce items that you're leaving the skin on. And then, so what I like to do anytime I'm dealing with sweet potatoes is I will use a mandolin slicer to do some of them as little thin round discs, which I will put in the air fryer and just crisp up with some coconut oil, salt, and pepper. So I'll usually do 1 or 2 like this just for a little bit of a variation. And then the rest of them, I chopped this morning. They're ready to go. You can see the skin on there. And I'm gonna put in some white onion because white onion always makes sense. What else do I wanna let you know? Sometimes people ask about certain tools. The mandolin that I'm using here is actually, it's an awesome little gadget because it has different attachments you can put on. So for that white onion, I'm gonna pop it in, I'll show you actually on camera, and it'll dice up the white onion. I have this linked in the kitchen shop. Yes. Oh, great. Oh, that won't work. Well, yeah, that will. No, it won't. It won't fit. It's gonna stick out.
Go ahead.
No. You know what? It's okay. I'm gonna just plug this in behind me after. But thank you for your help, technician Peters. I'm gonna show you the onion in just a moment. But if you go to the Healthy Kitchen Blueprint landing page, you'll see the kitchen shop, which has everything that I show you here. I just like to make it easy for you. So, okay, so in this recipe, we have 6 sweet potatoes cut into chunks, a 1/4 cup of chopped pecans. Do you say pecan or pecan? Pecan. Pecan. A 1/4 cup of flaked coconut, again, optional. So are the pecans. 2 teaspoons of maple syrup, 2 teaspoons of coconut oil, a teaspoon of curry powder. Again, that's just my preference. I like the mix of the sweet and savory in this recipe. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So if you're taking a quick screener, there it is. Can you see that? Okay. And this is why I recommend having a variety of sizes of slow cookers, because you can have your main dish going and then whatever side, you know, I'm using this for the potatoes, but I also, in that kitchen shop, I have linked there a little rice cooker, which works very similar. So it's just nice to get your appliances all working for you. So again, you're not in the kitchen all day long. It's such a great feeling to come home, especially, you know, if you've had a really busy day in and out of the house, or if you're working from home and you're on calls all day, knowing that supper is moving along for you. What the heck are you doing? There we go. Oh, no, tech fail. Okay, so what I just want to show you really quickly is using that mandolin device to just chop the onion up really quickly, because it's really awesome and you don't cry. I remember the first time I bought one of those mandolin devices, and of course I sliced my finger. It's like a rite of passage in the kitchen, right? And for like 2 weeks straight, I had nightmares about slicing my finger off on a mandolin. Don't do that. Get the safety devices. So like this contraption I'm using, you can choose from different sizes. I'm gonna go really small with the white onion. You just pop it on. Hey, sweetie. Love you too. So I switched it from a mandolin over to an onion dicer, okay? I cut a white onion in half. You just put it right on the plate, like so, and then it takes a little bit of grit and muscle. Ta-da! I'll do that once more with the other half. This one's a little bit big. Okay, voila. Nice white chopped onion, no tears. Okay, so I'll take that off. So what I'm gonna do with this is I'm going to just cover the bottom of this crock pot with the diced onion and the coconut oil, and I will put it behind me and get it to start warming up. Sauteing onions is the best, right? That with some garlic, mirepoix. Even if you're not, you know, working too hard in the kitchen, you can certainly make it smell like you are. Okay, so let me turn around. We'll let that warm up. Anytime a recipe in the slow cooker calls for onions and garlic, I like to put it in first and get it going, get it sauteing a little bit. While that's going, let me just gather the rest of our supplies. So we have a 1/4 cup of chopped pecans, 1/4 cup of flaked coconut. Okay, I'll add that in just a moment. Potatoes are ready. And then the last thing I'm gonna do tonight is just some asparagus on the stove. Did you guys know that asparagus, you know how when you go grocery shopping, it's often stored this way? It's great to store it this way in the fridge. So just in a nice mason jar with some cool water. And when you go to saute something like asparagus, all you do is you break it. Wherever it naturally breaks is where it's meant to break. So you don't actually need to even cut it. So I'll just set this over here. When I'm sauteing asparagus or broccoli, green beans, any kind of like cauliflower, just thinking what else, Brussels sprouts. What I'll do is saute it in water for a couple of minutes to really bring out the green. And then I'll drizzle some olive oil or coconut oil over top with salt and pepper usually. That's usually all it will need. But that's a nice way to just punch up the green factor, not overcook it. And you know, a lot of people have trouble digesting raw green veggies. So sauteing them in some water is usually helpful for that. Is there anything else I can show you? I don't think so. I mean, it's almost 4 o'clock, so this is gonna keep going. That there will take, I'll put it on low and it'll cook in the same amount of time. So all the sweet potatoes will be nice and soft by the time we're ready to eat them. I'll just do the greens, saute those 20 minutes before we're about to eat, and good to go. You know, I think a helpful thing when you're planning your meals in the kitchen is to think of varying your proteins, right? So some people will do, when they print out the blueprint sheets, they'll do chicken, beef, fish, meatless, and they'll kind of, or egg-based, vegetarian, they'll rotate those, but they'll have a couple of different recipes on hand. So, you know, so that they're varying things. But, you know, I'm curious, like, I think if we're all honest, a lot of us eat the same dinner recipes at least once every 2 weeks, right? Like we have our faves. And of course, as seasons change, you can vary them. You know, red meat, for example, you might do more stews in the winter and then in the summer, burgers and tacos, things like that, right? But it's, a lot of us tend to eat the same things. So it's good to stick to a template, but have a couple of different recipes that you like to support that, because otherwise it can just get too boring and then you'll be ordering takeout a lot because you just don't look forward to what you're cooking, right? So the goal is to always have a nice system of flow in your kitchen, easy recipes, have it all there so it's easy to follow. Somebody wanted to see the chicken recipe again. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll hop off in about 2 minutes. Chicken recipe, again, I will post this to IGTV and I'll include the recipe links, but there it is if you guys want to make this tonight. You still have time, especially if you're in Pacific or Mountain Time. Okay, there it is. Oh, I know what I'll share with you really quick. When I'm making something in the slow cooker, like this chicken recipe, this is 4 chicken breasts, and I mean, it's Chris and I and the girls. This usually is more than double what we need. So I will take half of this, and after it's been cooked, I will put it in one of these reusable freezer bags. Okay, and I like this brand. This is in the Kitchen Shop. It's Y King brand. I will put half of this, once it's cooked, into this reusable freezer bag, seal it up, and I will put the recipe name, the date, because you want to use it within about 3 months, no longer. And if there's any kind of prep that I need to do once I defrost it, I'll write that there. The only thing to keep in mind with freezing recipes is anything with a cream base to it, dairy based, will not defrost very nicely, okay? So if you're using a recipe that calls for, I don't know, like half and half cream, then you'll want to leave that out, freeze half first, and add it in for that night's dinner. And for defrosting, all you do is take it out, put it in the fridge to defrost. You can put it right into the slow cooker, but it's actually best if you defrost in the fridge and then put it in the slow cooker. Please do a cookbook. Yeah, you know, I'm not drawn to it. I'm not drawn to writing a book or doing a cookbook. I don't know. I don't know if that's the side of me that just sees into the future, and that it's just not my lane. My lane is ease and digital and keep it simple. So I have no desire to write a book or a cookbook. Would love the brain power hot chocolate recipe. Yes, so it's linked in the blueprint, but if you go to, let me think. You know what? I will post that into the comments here because I don't have that recipe printed, but let me just draw off memory. So I use half a cup of full fat coconut milk, half a cup of some other nut milk, like almond milk, 2 teaspoons of cacao, 1 tablespoon of collagen. And then if you feel it needs to be sweetened a little bit, you could add a little bit of maple syrup. But I find this recipe so brilliant because it's high fat, which is so important for kids' brains. Their brains are almost all fat. So when they start off their mornings, and let's say, you know, you've got to get them to school by 8:30 or 9 o'clock. Some kids start earlier. And a lot of kids in the morning, they're reaching for the quick carbs. A lot of breakfast foods are focused around carbs, and that is such quick sugar, and their brain just goes whoop, and then, right? So you want to get fats into their breakfast. You want to really try to get fats in their breakfast every morning, and this hot cocoa is just perfect. We'll probably make it every morning in the winter. We have these little teacups that my grandmother who passed, she lived to be 100. She gave the girls a little tea set, and so we'll have, I'm gonna cry. We have the brain cocoa in those, so it's a nice little, you know, way to start the day. Any other questions, you guys? Yeah, good tip, don't shop hungry. That's why I love shopping online. That's another tip I give you in the blueprint. You can make this process, you guys, think of how much time you're spending right now grocery shopping. The average person spends an hour and a half, but you may find you're doing multiple trips throughout the week, in traffic, all the things that you know, jack that time frame up. When you order online, so many places now offer delivery or pickup. What I love about it is not only the simplicity and ease, but you can save a list of all your favorite items. So it's literally like check, 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 done. Grocery shopping takes 10 minutes. So, and you're not buying things that, you know, you don't want to plan to eat. Do I use Instacart to online shop? I have. The only thing I don't like, what I do, I'm in London, Ontario, so I order groceries every week online through Loblaws, which is a major Canadian grocer. And we just pop into the parking spot and they bring it out and they fill the trunk, and then that's how we do it. I've used Instacart, but the reason I don't super love it is the prices are higher and you can't get everything that you normally would. So, but I think Instacart is so brilliant for people who can't get out of the house. I think of elderly people right now who just don't want to venture into grocery stores. Instacart is genius, right? Because they can use that and have their groceries delivered. Cool, I love seeing how many of you have the blueprint. I'm so thrilled. I hope you're loving it so far. You probably haven't quite dug into it because it just released last week, but maybe this will be your first weekend doing meal prep. Let me see what else. You guys are so sweet. Nice to have you on live at this time. It's almost 4 o'clock. We've got about 80 of you on. I will save this and upload it to IGTV tonight or tomorrow morning. So hopefully you had a chance to grab a screenshot of the recipes. I will link them up here. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. So my onions are sauteing right now in that little crock pot. As soon as I hop off here, I'm going to add the sweet potatoes, the maple syrup, the coconut, the pecans, and it'll be ready by the time we're ready to eat after 7 o'clock tonight. Okay, great. Yes, and Christine, hey, she said I'm ready to step into my kitchen now. My whole intention in creating this blueprint for you is to give you that feeling of a win right now when so much in our world feels crazy out there, right? I want to be a part of your team in helping you and your family get around the table again, which I believe actually solves all the things. And just anchor in. Get ready for winter. Have a system that supports you and your family in health and in happiness, but not in chaos. My goal through this is to help simplify this whole process so that you're eating healthy food and it's not stressing you out, and make being in the kitchen fun again. All right, let's do that. Okay, bye for now. And I'll probably do a meal prep session here one of these weekends, so stay tuned for that. Oh, and October 19th, for those of you that have purchased the kitchen blueprint already, I'm gonna be doing a week of giveaways. So you'll receive a little email about that. So if you want to join us for that, you might wanna check out the blueprint and add it to your cart before October 19th, which is coming up. Okay, bye for now, love bugs.